You know what? I woke up today and the first thing I said is, oh shit, it's 4th of July.
It's 4th of July.
But the second thing I said was, it's a beautiful day to try to turn $1,000 into $10,000 within the next 24 hours. Now you may be asking yourself, how in the world is this possible? Am I taking my booty all the way down to the Hard Rock Casino and putting it all on red? No, not quite, but close guess. Today I'm going to be day trading Bitcoin with $1,000 with the end goal of turning it into $10,000 within the next 24 hours. So here we are over on Bybit, which is the crypto broker that I'm going to be using for this challenge. Now the beauty about Bybit is that they offer up to 100 times leverage. And if you don't know what leverage is, it's basically the ability to borrow money from the broker to trade with. In this case, I'm going to be using 100 times leverage, which basically means that I can borrow up to 100 times of whatever I put into this account. And for this challenge, we're using $1,000, which means I can borrow up to $100,000 to trade Bitcoin. Now, if this sounds horrendously risky, that's because it is. Let me explain how this works. So I put in $1,000 of my own money, and this is what's called my margin. Margin is basically the collateral that you are offering the broker in exchange for the money that they are going to lend you. Think about taking out a mortgage. You always need to put a down payment on the house, and then the bank gives you the rest, right? Well, that's kind of similar how this works, okay? We have our down payment on the house, and then the house is a fat $100,000 from the broker. So I put down $1,000 of my own money. This is the collateral, and in exchange the broker says, hey, we'll let you borrow up to 100 times that amount, or in this case $100,000. Now the reason why this is so risky is because I do not have $100,000 to lose. The maximum I can lose is $1,000, which is the money that I put in. So if I invest $100,000 of borrowed money into Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin goes down, let's say 1%, that is $1,000. So if Bitcoin goes down 1% and I lose this initial $1,000, well, the broker isn't going to just sit there and let their $100,000 go to zero. The broker is going to say, hey, you lost all of your money, we're not losing any of our money, so we're going to force you to close that position, and we're going to take back our initial $100,000. So I lose my $1,000, they get back their $100,000, and now I am sitting at a flat $0 or a 100% loss. So when you use 100 times leverage, you can really only afford to lose a 1% move on whatever asset you're trading, because everything is multiplied by 100. So 1% is actually 100% of your own money. So the goal here is to be very right, very accurately, with very little drawdown and a big enough move to the upside that we make at least 5 to 10 times our $1,000 goal. I'm trying to do this challenge with only a couple trades, because the more trades we make, the more likely we are to be wrong on at least one of those trades, and we see that 1% move that ultimately costs us the entire $1,000. So I've actually already taken a trade over on Bybit, and I have bought roughly $80,000 worth of BTC. If you can see that right there, $87,000 is the value of the Bitcoin that I just bought. And you can see here my position margin is 926 USDT. So I put down $926. The broker gave me $87,000 for a total of roughly $90,000 invested into Bitcoin. Now you can see right here, liquidation price or lick price is 19,116, and the entry price is 19,916. Okay, so Bitcoin only needs to move down $100 in price for me to be forced out of the position. That is what a liquidation price means. If it comes down to this price here, 19,816, then I will be forced out of my position and lose $1,000. Now the reason I chose to buy Bitcoin is because we can see on this 5-minute time frame that we are clearly in an uptrend, right? We have higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. If you don't know, uptrends are consisted of higher highs and higher lows, right? This is what an uptrend looks like. So once we pulled back into this yellow line here, this uptrend, okay, I'm looking to buy that dip in hopes that we see a big move back up towards these highs. And just like that, we got liquidated. So Bitcoin actually ended up going beneath these moving averages, and you guys saw previously my liquidation point was roughly around 19,816. You can clearly see that was breached, and this isn't the most surprising thing because we barely had any room, only $100 worth of Bitcoin price movement to be liquidated, all right? Now am I just gonna give up after this?
No.
Of course not. I still think that we can do this challenge. Are we down $1,000? Yes. Have we technically failed the challenge? Maybe, but I'm going to deposit another $1,000, and we are going to turn this $1,000 into $10,000. All right, so I just deposited a fresh $1,000 into the account, a little bit over $1,000. And we are going to try this one last time. Now, the problem is, I think I was a little too hasty last time. I think I just wanted to get the show on the road. So this time, I'm going to wait for the perfect setup, in my opinion. I don't care if it takes 5 minutes, 5 hours, maybe not 5 days, because we don't have that long. So I got 24 hours for this. But I'm going to wait as long as it takes. So I'm going to see you guys when I see a great setup. All right, so after what seems like forever, we finally have a trade setup. Okay, so I'm actually already long. I'm gonna go show you that trade in just a second here, but before we do that, let me explain my reasoning. Okay, so we see on Bitcoin that we are creating higher highs and higher lows. We can see that with this trend line right here, okay? We are clearly in an uptrend. You can see if we just scroll out a little bit, we have been in an uptrend for the past few days, past few hours at the very least, okay? So we have just now retested the top of this range. You can see that we continue to bounce up against this $20,000 area right over here. Okay, because we keep bouncing up on that level, it leads me to believe that this level is beginning to break down. That 20,000 level is beginning to become weak and ultimately is getting ready to break. So I do think that we are kind of tightening up here, and this is one of my favorite setups. Okay, we are tightening up this range here and getting ready for a breakout. Okay, so I'm actually going to try to anticipate this breakout, which isn't necessarily the best thing to do, but just because this range is so big, okay, it's kind of risky to try to buy when it breaks out because the range is large, so it might just come right back down, right? So instead, I found an area of support right in here. As you can see, this is an area, what I usually like to call it a reaction zone. Okay, this is an area where we tend to see a reaction in price, okay? So think of it as the market basically telling us where the important levels are. If you have price moving away from a certain level, whether it be up or down, that tells you that money is in that general area, because that's the only way, if you think about it, you can move price is with lots of money coming into that specific price, all right? So here's my trade over on Bybit using 100 times leverage. All right, I have around 917 USDT in this trade for a total of 86,000 with leverage, 86,000 USDT invested into this position. It is a long position, and my liquidation price is roughly around 19,800. We are hoping for something like this. We have our stop loss down here, and then a large breakout to the upside, and we can use an ABCD pattern to calculate that. We just copy and paste that previous swing high, and we paste that to the next lowest low point, which is right here, and that gives us a target of roughly $20,200. So let's roll the time lapse. Let's see what happens here. All right, so I just got back to my computer, and as you can see, this trade is doing very, very well. Let's check how much we are up over on Bybit. We are up 93%, or around now around $900, or about 100% of what we put in as far as our margin is concerned. All right, so we're beginning to see another push to the upside, which brings us to a total profit of 150%, or around $1,300. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it's getting a little tempting to just close this out and take our profits, but a key component of trading is always letting your profits run and cutting your losses quickly. And we cut our loss quickly last time, and so this winter, we're gonna try to let run for as long as possible. So we're sitting at 142% gain. I think we should try to shoot for 200 and then close out for a profit, and then we'll try to double it again, and hopefully that way we will only need a couple more trades before we hit that $10,000 mark. All right, so I'm here with a quick update. We just hit the target, which is the ABCD pattern to the upside. Remember, I just took that previous swing high, projected it off of these previous lows right here, and that gave us this target of 20,260. You can see we are bumping up against that right now as we speak, and I am considering taking half off the table. So if we go to Bybit, you can see we are currently up around $1,472, which is 160%. Remember, we only put in around $900 on. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and close out the position here. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer, see if we can break through this level of resistance around 20,268. But if we can't, then I'll be closing half the position and letting the rest ride. Alright, so it's been a few more minutes. It's getting kind of late here. As you can see, it's getting a little dark in here because the sun has now set and I'm still in this trade. Now the problem is I'm about to go to sleep and I don't really want to risk letting this trade ride after coming so far. We are currently sitting at a balance of $2,442. Do I really want to let that disappear overnight, or do I want to save it to fight another day? I think the latter is probably the best option. One, because it gives me more content for you guys to enjoy, and two, because realistically, I'm probably going to lose it overnight, and we're still trying to reach the $10,000 mark. So did I fail turning $1,000 into $10,000 in 24 hours? Yes, technically I did, but we did practically double our money in a single trade. In the coming days, I plan on doing it all over again. We're sitting at $2,500, so I'd rather just call it a day there and come back and trade that another time. Smash up that like button. Let's try to get to 400 likes, and I'll try out that $10,000 to $100,000 challenge. Only if we get 400 likes. Hit that bell notification icon so you never miss another video, and also make sure to subscribe if you're new. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to close this position out, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.